Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a global artist ambassador for FENIX360, and I'm blessed to be joined today by the country music artist, TERESA Guidry. Hey, TERESA, how are you?
Hello, how are you today? I'm good.
I'm doing great too. Thank you, TERESA, for being with me. And listen, I'm really, excited about sharing some of your music with our audience, TERESA. So is it cool if we go to your YouTube channel and check out your track, Paris?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love that.
All right, great. All right, everyone, let's tune in then to TERESA Guidry and Paris.
Wanna settle down with this other man, with kind eyes, a good heart and strong hands. Wanna see the world, be a free girl, with my sights set on dreams and adventures. He's perfect, I know it. He's kind and devoted. My heart is torn in two. Don't wanna choose. I wanna live two lives. Blaze a trail, be your wife. I wanna hold your hand, bottle Tahitian sand, run the streets of Spain, stand in the London rain. I feel it every time that we kiss. Part of me wants this, but part of me wants Paris.
Hey, TERESA, beautiful work. Great to share your music with our audience. And I'm looking forward to learning about you. Can you tell me, where are you from and how did you become a country music artist?
So originally I'm from South Carolina. I now live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I moved here almost 8 years ago. So I moved here to pursue country music, and I had always loved music and been interested in it. And so I kind of just took that leap of faith when I was 20 and I moved here. And yeah, I mean, it's just been kind of a whirlwind. I mean, of course, there's always ups and downs and everything, but I mean, I've had a lot of really cool opportunities come my way since I've been to Nashville.
That's great, TERESA. And Nashville is such a hub, a center location for music,
Yeah.
not just country music, Western too. No, just kidding. I mean, a lot of different genres of music, a lot of
Right.
artists culminate into that location to express their art. So that's great that you're there and made that commitment. And you talk about the ups and downs. A lot of times those downs is where the art emerges out of. So at any rate, we really appreciate hearing your track, Paris. And can you tell me, when as you were considering being a country music artist, were there other country music artists that, inspired you that made you also want to perform?
Definitely. I mean, growing up, like as far back as I can remember, probably 5 years old, I just was so in love with Shania. And so she was definitely one of my first introductions into the country music world. And, at that time, she was kind of out of the box for what country music was. She was pop, she was sexy, she was independent. She had all these things going that, people hadn't seen before. And so I thought she was an icon, and obviously she is. And um I mean, even from that age, I was just so impressed by that. And so I definitely had her to look up to growing up and getting more into music as I went on.
That is really cool. And what about some of the classic country music artists? Were you ever influenced by some of the older uh, you know, um, kind of legendary artists? Did you ever let, you know what I mean? Did your family kind of gravitate towards country music? Was that something you grew up with?
So it's actually not something I grew up with at all. I actually kind of branched out and had to go venture on my own to love country music. But no, I loved Patsy growing up. Over there, I have actually an old vintage signed calendar from Loretta. And
Beautiful.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I definitely had those influences of like hearing a song and being like, wow, that's beautiful. And knowing that they were so legendary and knowing how important they were in country music. So I definitely think since my family settled down in South Carolina, it was much more likely that I would get into country than they would, because they had already, grown up in different places. And
Right.
um, but no, I mean, just living in South Carolina and then having friends kind of introduce me into country music. And there was a time, I feel like, when I was a kid, that I was like embarrassed almost to listen to country because it wasn't the cool thing to do. And so
Huh?
I feel like I was in denial for a little bit, but I always just loved the songwriting of it. And so when I got to be a teenager and I really started to pick up the guitar and sing, and I feel like that's really when I just dived into my love for it and started kind of, researching the history of it and just falling in love with country music as a whole.
I love it, Teresa, that you really kind of stayed true to, what it is that you had interest in, whether it's popular or not, even among your own circles at the time. This is what you really felt inspired by. So that's something that's an inner dwelling kind of soul response. And now it's being reflected in your own music, which is really cool. And also, country music has traditionally and still continues to be such great storytelling in these songs. And also, I think country music artists are not afraid to self-deprecate or demonstrate their vulnerability when they screw up, and, like, you know what I mean, when times are hard, and how to persevere through that with almost a sense of humor. So all of those attributes, I think, are aspects of the country music genre that I appreciate, and certainly appreciate you. So let me ask this question: what are you working on now, Teresa, and what's coming up for you?
So this year I actually just signed with a new management company, Evergreen Entertainment. And so that's really exciting because now I have kind of a team of people behind me helping me, because for the long time, I was my own manager, I was my own booking agent, I was my own, like, just, and that's a lot of stress, and that's a lot of things to have to hold on your own back. And so it's really exciting because we have a lot of projects coming up with them. I may or may not be starting a podcast soon. So there's a lot of good things coming up. I mean, like, the year's just started, so it's all kind of just in those planning phases, but there's a lot of really cool stuff that I'm excited about, and a lot of plans that they've already sent to me that I'm like I said, I'm just excited. So there's a lot of things brewing right now, but nothing I can talk about yet.
Well, I tell you what, Teresa, that is really exciting. And it's nice to hear that you have some form of support and representation. I mean, so many independent artists rely upon just their own sensibilities to get established until there's some form of discovery. So that's why we have FENIX360 also, to create, in essence, another platform for them, another tool to become discovered and to become commercialized and to become established, so they continue their art as a vocation as well as in vocation. So I'm so, proud of you. Continue your great work. We're going to look forward to following your progress. I want everyone to tune into the social media channels that you find below our interview today for TERESA Guidry, and also look for her on FENIX360. So thank you so much, Teresa, for being with me.
Thank you for having me. This is so fun.
Yeah, my pleasure. You take good care.
Appreciate it.
Red wine we drank by candlelight. We were in bed that night. You looked into my eyes, and I heard sweet words surrounding me, and they cut deep down inside of me. Could've sworn that you meant it when you said that you were spending all your love on the rest of our lives. Yeah, I felt your hand shaking when you said you would've taken back all those times you fed me lies. Regret, rewind, you changed your mind. It must have been red, must have been red wine. Red wine, it's my lullaby. Memories in my bed at night turn to a bottle